Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yes, indeed, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another rousing episode of the Final Word here on the Ep205 Sports Network, which boy, MattyB on the call. Tuesday night edition as we get ready for the holiday. Short week. Holidays approaching. Thanksgiving's coming Thursday. Got to get them in where I can get them in, as we will not be broadcasting here on Thursday night. But never fear, because we got you covered. We're going to take you through the weekend the best way we can. And tonight, as we get ready for the weekend and the very short football week that precedes it, coming into that weekend, Eagles will be back at it on Friday against the Bears. The conversation will continue tonight a little bit more towards the Bears, not as much towards the Cowboys, but continuing talking a little bit more about what's going to happen, what the Eagles are faced with on Friday. Vic Fangio faced the media today. I think all the coordinators did. I just didn't really pay attention to the rest of them, but Vic Fangio did face the media today, made a couple interesting statements. One that I thought was very interesting is he said he expects Reed Blankenship to play. Now, Blankenship was dinged up pretty heavily in the Sunday game against the Cowboys. Left the game, came back, got hurt, left the game again. But Reed Blankenship, I guess, is trending in the way to play on Friday. Of course, Drew McCuba is going to be gone for potentially a season's-ending ankle surgery that he suffered in that game. So the Eagles are critically thin at the safety position, and is a dinged-up Reed Blankenship better than no Reed Blankenship, I guess, as this case with the Eagles defense is concerned. Interesting storylines heading into this game against the Bears, which I think a lot of people are starting to look at now as the get-right game for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I will pose the question tonight as we'll skim the surface on the Bears that I don't know if this is a get-right game. I think this is a trap game, honestly. I do. I said this. I said it last week. I said it the week before that. When everybody was pointing at the Cowboy game as the trap, I think this game is the trap game. I think this game has the makings of being a trap game. So we'll continue that conversation. We'll get into some more of the, I don't want to call it delusional. I'm not going to say delusional. I'm going to give him a break tonight, but the conversation that this could be potentially the beginning of a collapse for the Eagles. And I think that if we do have an Eagle loss on Friday, there's no denying that there's a collapse happening. And, I don't know if their schedule can save them from that. No one's been able to answer my question, what the fix is for this team offensively and also defensively. The defense has gotten a pass this last week of how poorly they played. The recipe for the success of this Philadelphia Eagle team as they, dinked and dunked through this season with their offense has been the play of that defense. And you saw when the defense let them down, I mean, he kind of hung the offense out to dry. And with the injuries now that the defense has sustained, especially to the defensive backfield, are we really at a position now where we can stop maybe blaming the offense and start looking at the defense to try to step it up? And can the defense continue to win football games for this football team? Because I think they still have to continue to do that because, again, no one's answered my question. What is the fix offensively for this team? So the conversation about the Eagles will continue. We're also going to change gears tonight because we're going to get back into some more baseball. We'll get back into the hot stove. There's been some reports out of Philadelphia that the Phillies are in negotiations with Kyle Schwarber, but allegedly those negotiations are extremely far apart. The two sides are nowhere near anywhere kind of an agreement as we continue to wait for the big move by the Phillies. Any move. I shouldn't say any move. They've made a few moves. Very pedestrian moves, but we're continuing waiting for that big move by the Phillies. And I'm going to throw out a question about Dave Dombrowski right here. Can Dave Dombrowski physically, can he actually do this to the Philadelphia Philly fan base another offseason? Can we have another offseason of Jordan Romano, Max Kepler, Joe Ross? Can we have another offseason like that here? Or, there has to be change, right? We've all agreed to that. There's got to be a significant change to this baseball team Or have we forgotten the pain, right? Is time separated the pain from us, and now we're starting to talk ourselves back into maybe running this thing back one more year? If we do, we're setting ourselves up for a major failure. So the Phillies continue not to make any noise in the offseason. We've already talked about the Mets and the Brandon Nimmo, Marcus Semien trade. The Mets are starting to improve. The Braves have made various moves in the offseason. Again, low-level stuff, but they brought in some pitching to help them out. If the Phillies go through another offseason like they did last year and essentially run it back, because that's what they would be doing, or if they go ahead and sign Kyle Schwarber per se, and then that's really it in terms of the big move. I mean, do Phillies fans have a right to be like really pissed off? Because again, the DNA of this baseball team will remain the same, which that obviously is not working. So we'll get into the Phillies. We'll talk about the Nick Castellanos phone calls. Allegedly, they're making calls about him and no one's answering. Do they cut him? Do they take the dead cap hit? Alec Bohm, does he come back? Bryson Stott, JT Realmuto. No one's talking Ranger Suarez anymore because it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. He ain't coming back. But as we are about a month now into the offseason, we're about a month, and the Phillies have done nothing. Are you concerned that we're heading towards another offseason like last year? So we'll get into that. Flyers, 3-0 losers last night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, as I said, I didn't watch the game, but I ended up peeking at the box score, and I can tell you exactly what happened in the game. I don't even have to watch it in order to tell you after seeing the box score. Sam Ersson, 18 shots faced and 3 goals. I don't have to. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out where the problem was, or one of the problems were with the Flyers last night. You really don't. Again, you're never going to sell me on if you're facing less than 20 shots a game, which is not much work. It's not much work. It's nothing at the NHL level. And you can only make 15 of those 18 saves. That's not a starting goalie. That's not even a backup, honestly. Regardless of how good he might have looked at certain saves throughout the game, that's not a starting goalie. That's not a backup. The no goals for the Flyers, I didn't see the game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there was a lot of that perimeter type offense, a lot of one shot, no rebounds, a lot of wide shooting, that kind of thing. A lot of movement within inside the zone, but no real generated offense. Again, it doesn't take a genius to figure out, what happened last night with the Flyers. And again, the Tampa Bay Lightning being a very good hockey team, but it seems like to me the Flyers did more to lose that game than the Lightning did to beat the Flyers. So if you want to get into the Flyers, we'll talk about them. And anything else really that suits your fancy on this Tuesday night, 2 days before Thanksgiving, here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network and on the Final Word. And with that being said, here's a look at our schedule for the remaining part of the week. Tonight, you had a pretty full night with, on the anchor leg here. The Pittsburgh Sports Desk at 7. Props, locks, and parlays was at 8. Now here I am at 9, kind of finishing up the day. Tomorrow, I'll be back. You'll be seeing a little bit of me tomorrow. The Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn will return. Time yet unknown. I'm still figuring that out. We'll have an answer for you by tomorrow morning, I promise. Then I'll have then I will be back for the Final Word, and then Mike Laro will take you on the Clear the Ice Flyers and Panthers. It might be a holiday on Thursday, but we're going to come at you with some content. 12 noon, Fighting's Final 2025 season in review show, pre-recorded, but it will be shown. It will be shown live for the first time on noon on Thursday. And then we're back in force on Friday. The Birds Flyby returns. Eagles Bears postgame. The Gridiron Weekly gets sandwiched in between that and the Flyers Islanders Clear the Ice. You'll see me on the Clear the Ice program. Saturday is Penn State versus Rutgers as the Happy Valley Huddle will have the regular season finale, and Flyers and Devils, and we'll start it all over again on Sunday. So we're going to go into the weekend pretty heavy on this holiday weekend. We're going to be there for you through the holidays. So if you had a rough Thanksgiving, if you had too much of the neighbors, too much of the relatives, too much of the, the good time spirits, well, sit back, let us do the driving for a while as we'll take you through the weekend and get you caught up on sports, keep you in the know as we have the tendency of doing this network. So let's get things going. Mickey Delaney checking in. What's going on, Mickey? How are you? Joe Hale, what's going on, Joe? How are you? Let's start the show tonight. As I mentioned, all that plus your day in Philadelphia sports history. The card review will be back tonight, as well as your of the night segment. All that returns tonight on this fine Tuesday morning or Tuesday evening. Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. So let's strap in, strap on, strap up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times, and let's get going with our day in Philadelphia sports history on this day back in 2007. Out of nowhere, backup quarterback A.J. Feely, baby. Subbing in for the injured Donovan McNabb, nearly led the Eagles to an upset victory over the 10-0 Patriots. And they entered that game as a 23.5-point underdog. So remember that season? That was the 07 season, the 08. 16 wins, 1 giant loss, Patriots, where they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. But the Eagles had an opportunity kind of late in the season going up against the Patriots in 07. Entered the game against them, a 23.5-point underdog with A.J. Feely at the helm for the injured Donovan McNabb. Feely passed for 345 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading late against the Patriots, who would ultimately end up as the only NFL team in history to finish with a perfect 16-0 record. Yep, in the regular season. They, of course, lost the Super Bowl that year to the Giants. Feely also threw 3 interceptions in the game, ironically landing him with the absolute identical stat line to Donovan McNabb in the team's 3-point loss to the Patriots in Super Bowl 39. 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. 3 points. The Patriots and 3 points. Bellowed Eagles coach Andy Reid after the 31-28 loss. They're killing me. So A.J. Feely, a very interesting product for the Eagles. Say what you want, though, about Andy Reid. A lot of players can identify talent. Andy Reid really had an eye for quarterbacks, with maybe the exception of Kevin Kolb. Right? I mean, he had an eye for quarterbacks. And A.J. Feely was an unknown product who I believe the Eagles ended up flipping to Miami for like a 3rd-round draft pick at one point. I think it was in 08 or 09. They traded him to Miami for a 3rd-round pick. But when called upon, A.J. Feely really stepped in and filled a service for the Birds, especially when McNabb got hurt. I think the first time we really kind of learned about A.J. Feely was in the 02 season when McNabb broke his leg late in the year. Then Detmer went down, and they had to go to A.J. Feely to really kind of lead him into the playoffs. And then you had this game right here where he went toe-to-toe with one of the NFL's greatest seasons and one of the NFL's greatest teams of that season. A.J. Feely was a decent quarterback. Now, he went on to Miami to be nothing, but hey, I don't really care about that. But and also the snake-bitten Eagles when it comes to the Patriots not being able to beat them or lose consistently by 3 points. So there you go. Back in this day in 07, A.J. Feely does his very best to try to lead the Eagles to a victory over the eventual regular season undefeated Patriots at 16-0, and they would go on and lose the Super Bowl to the Giants. And that is your day in Philadelphia sports history. And that was brought to you by the folks here over at the It's a Wrap Sports Network, and especially the individuals over there at the Birds Flyby. The quintessential and Eagle postgame. We got a very cool thing on the network. We got the quintessential and Eagles pregame, and we also got the quintessential and Eagles postgame. The Birds Flyby will be seeing every postgame, every Eagles day. Don't forget Friday, immediately following Eagles Bears, we will be there for you, giving you the latest, greatest Eagle Bear post-game show. So make sure you're there with us for the Birds Flyby here, exclusively here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So yeah, gotta pay the bills. God damn you. Matter of phone lines open. Yeah, I think they will be open. A.J. Feely still lives in Jersey. Well, good for AJ. Does he come in the Wawa there, Joe? Does he buy himself a hoagie every now and again? Taking a break with that tasty cake? Does he do that? Does he stop in? If he does, get me an autograph. I think I have a couple of AJ Feely cards laying around. No, really good unsung, unheralded quarterback in Eagle past. Never quite good enough to be a backup or a starter, but really fit in as a 3rd-string guy that came in and gave you valuable moments and valuable minutes as a starter. Again, the 02 season, I think it was 02, right? When he broke his leg against the Cardinals in that game, McNabb did. And then Detmer came in and got lit up, or not got lit up, he got flattened in the Monday night game against the 49ers the following week, and then they had to turn to AJ the rest of the way, pretty much, until McNabb got back in the playoffs. I believe that was the 0-2 season, right? I'm not mistaken on that. Yeah, he was a really good stopgap quarterback, and Andy had an eye for those guys, man. He really did. Yeah, he had the eye to bring those guys in and really get the best out of them. Nick Foles being one of them. Mike Kafka, I believe, was one of those guys. The current interim head coach of the Giants. He was one of Andy Reid's, diamonds that he mined and all that. So, but AJ was a good quarterback. Old number 14. That was his number, right? 14. All right, let's get going. So Vic Fangio spoke with the media today and intimated that Reed Blankenship would be a go, or they're going to trending on him being a go. Let me get the exact words that he said. Let me see what he said. He expects safety Reed Blankenship to play in Black Friday game against the Bears. Well, which I don't know if that's because he's okay to play, or if that's because we are decimated at the safety position, and there's really no more cans of soup in the cupboard right now when it comes to safety. Which again bodes the question: is a hurt Reed Blankenship better than a healthy one? And once again, I want to throw it back into your boy Howie Roseman's lap. Here we are in a situation late in the season where we're down to no functional safeties off the bench, and now we're going with a guy that's injured. But yet you got Sidney Brown running around on his team. You got Keely Ringo running around on his football team. Is Eli Ricks still here? You got a bunch of scrub guys taking up roster spots that apparently are not being trusted to be put in with safety. So we're going to go ahead and insert the injured Reed Blankenship. Now, I know the rest of the story of this season has not been written yet, and I realize that we are still letting it unfold. And again, Friday, Bears, quick turnaround at home. Listen, I think it's a toxic combination. The way they played that game against the Cowboys, the struggles of the offense over the course of the entire season. We're going to turn it around early. You're going to go back to Philadelphia on Black Friday. So everyone's going to be basically there. It's a day off. It's an unofficial holiday. That place is going to be buzzing. If they go out and they don't play well and they lose, whether it's by 1 or 30 points, they are going to burn Lincoln Financial Field to the ground. The Eagles faithful. Rightfully so. But turning around and heading back into this game with a dinged up Reed Blankenship because there's no other options left on this team. It's another strike against this fraud of a GM. Let's call him what he is. He's a fraud of Howie Roseman. We're looking past a lot of Howie's problems. We're looking past a lot of the influence that Howie Roseman has had on this team. Howie set the chess pieces on the board this year, but yet he gets some passing criticism during this current little stretch, but he's not receiving enough criticism. And again, as this season begins to unfold and we get to the end of this, barring a Super Bowl repeat, the excuse is going to come out to why, hey, it was just one of them off seasons for Howie Roseman. We'll never know the real story about why he decided not to bring back at least a couple of the guys that he decided to cut. We're not going to talk anymore about his drafting ability, even though what has his draft classes over the last 3 years produced right now, especially on the offensive line for depth and specifically in that defensive backfield. What has it produced in order to kind of help us weather the ship through this storm? None of that's going to get talked about. None of that's going to get scrutinized. You're just going to drink your big old glass of green Kool-Aid and wear your Howie Roseman glasses like he's the greatest thing that's ever came down the pike. But yet, a lot of criticism deserves and should come down to Howie Roseman about ultimately if this season's a failure. You give them all the praise and confidence in the world when they win. Why can't you return the favor in kind when they lose and admit that the team was not properly prepared to start the season personnel-wise? If, of course, the season unravels. Now, about the unraveling part. Is it against the realm of human possibility? Am I barking up the wrong tree by saying that we could potentially have a collapse on our hands? And how important is it to go out on Friday and not win is a win, but go out there and actually do something you have not done in 12 weeks, and that's play a full game, dominate offensively, and win going away. How important is it for the Eagles to go do that? Does the Eagle fan base get eased by a 10-7 win against the Bears, where the offense was once again unsuccessful in moving the football, and that they won on the backs of the defense? Or do the Eagles got to go out there Friday and put together something that they've not done all season, and that's a complete game, and defeat the Bears handily? What are we going to accept as fans? And I've even heard the more hardened Homer Eagle fans out there begin to doubt their own arrogance, so to speak. There's a little bit of the doubt creeping into the fan base of that side, of that extremist side of Homers. That it's like, I don't know if they can win a Super Bowl now, by the way they've been playing. Last night's title of the show was Macro versus Micro. A lot of people were looking at the Dallas game like this was a blip in the radar, a glitch in the matrix, whatever you want, and it's not. It's a micro problem wrapped around a macro situation. And now I'm hearing out of the more hardened Homer Eagle fan base, or part of the Eagle Homer fan base, maybe they can't win a Super Bowl. Maybe they're not good enough. Whoa. Uh-oh. A little infighting among the Homers now. Homer on Homer crime. I can't wait to see what that looks like. Some of the Homers are starting to crack. Some of the Homers are buckling under their own weak foundation. And they're starting to doubt this team's potential of winning a Super Bowl. And going out on Friday, which seems like an almost impossible task, coming off of a short week, you're dinged up on defense. Your offensive line is still not right. They're dinged up still. You're going into a home game on Black Friday, I don't know what kind of electricity is going to be flowing through the seats at Lincoln Financial Field on Friday. And I know they're not going to have a long fuse. That fan base is going to get triggered shortly and quickly if the Eagles come out and struggle off the bat of this game. They're not going to be very patient with the offense on Friday. They're not, and I don't blame them. But how important and how desperate of a situation are your Philadelphia Eagles in this Friday as an 8-3 team? Can they afford to lose another game? Losing another game makes them 8-4. I mean, still very much in hand of the division and, of course, making the playoffs. But from the internal mental standpoint of the fan base, if they go out on Friday and they dink and dunk their way through another football game and find a way to win by a meteorite crashing on the 50-yard line, crushing Caleb Williams, knocking the ball loose, and they end up returning a game-winning touchdown, is that fate or outcome acceptable in restoring the faith that this football team can win a Super Bowl? Or do you need to see something that the Eagles have been not able to do all year, and that's dominate for 4 quarters? Inquiring minds want to know what you guys think. There was no practice today. Okay. It's a blackout on Friday. Not where I'm at. It's not. God damn it. I'll be watching that game. Oh, it's a blackout, meaning like they're going to wear black? Is that what they're wearing the black unis on Friday? Hey, whatever works. What's the record in those damn things? Or is the game blacked out, Joe? What are you talking about? Is the game blacked out in the Philadelphia area on Friday, or are they wearing black uniforms and black helmets? Be more specific. So tomorrow on the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn, at a time to be determined a little bit later on, me and Kyle will begin to break this game down X's and O's, but we're also going to break it down existentially. Yes, psychologically. We're going to try to get inside the heads of the Philadelphia Eagles, the players, the coaches, the fans. We're going to try to get in their heads right now, because I think this game Friday is the pivot point, the linchpin, the hinge, the squeaky wheel, whatever you want to call it. This is the game, this game Friday. Not against a juggernaut opponent in the Bears. I don't respect what the Bears can bring. I don't. They're 8-3, I think, right? But, we've heard this before. The great teams out of the NFC North, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really work out for them. But this game was going to go a long way in whether or not this team can friggin' turn it around. Because if they lose against the Bears, how can you not doubt? Unless, of course, they lose fluky, right? It's a good game back and forth. They were moving the football. They were making stops. They were making plays, and something weird happened. But how can you not doubt that this team is in collapse mode if they go out and lose on Friday? And I know the homers are bracing themselves for that. They're bracing themselves for that loss by saying 8-4 is not a bad record. Totally oblivious. They're not oblivious. They know what they're doing. But how important is a win on Friday for the Philadelphia Eagles and their fans? And is it a style point type of game? Does it have to be dominant? Do they got to go out there and enforce their will on the Bears? Or can we expect another, like we've seen, and they get out of that game with a 10-7 win against the Bears? And is that acceptable enough? It's not going to get any easier. Next week we got the Chargers, and then it gets maybe a little easier. Then you got the Raiders, and you got the Commanders, the Bills and Commanders. That's kind of how it wraps up. Pivotal stretch for the Eagles season right here. Cowboys, Bears, Chargers. Pivotal stretch of that season. So I don't know. You tell me what's going to happen. I'm befuddled by it. Don't know. But tomorrow on the Birds Blast, me and Kyle will start breaking this bad boy down so that we can kind of get to a spot on this game that we can be more. I honestly don't know what to expect from this football game. I don't know who to take in this game. I do know, but I'm not feeling it, man. Not. All right, phone lines are open, so if you guys want to hop in, you can. We are going to transition, though, real quick. Let me get the hot stove out of the way because there's a lot to talk about. Not so much with the hot stove, but there is some things to talk about. So let's go into our hot stove. Phone lines are open if you want to jump on board. Feel free. We're talking anything, Birds, Phillies, Flyers. All right. Let's get into the hot stove. Latest and greatest going on, rumbles and grumbles around Major League Baseball. Let's start with Marcio Dubon, the utility player formerly of the Houston Astros. He's now a Brave. He was traded for Nick Allen, a minor move. The Braves and Astros sort of switching utility players. Dubon's 241 batting average, 7 homers, 33 RBIs. Nick Allen, a 221 batting average, no homers and 22 RBIs. I guess Dubon's got a little bit more power for the Braves and going back to them. So the Braves continue to make some moves. They do. Wander Suaro is now heading to the Athletics on a minor league contract, leaving the Mets behind. Alex Lang, the right-hand pitcher formerly of the Detroit Tigers, is now a Kansas City Royal, signed a 1-year deal with them. Ryan Yarbrough of the Yankees is also remaining a Yankee. He signed a 1-year contract to remain in New York. Joey Weimer, formerly of the Miami Marlins, is now a Giant, moving on to San Francisco, was traded for cash considerations. James McCann, staying put in Arizona, signed a 1-year deal. Pedro Leon, formerly of nowhere, or formerly of the Baltimore Orioles via the Houston Astros, is now a Philly. Again, we talked about, I think, him a little bit last night. Don't get excited. He's a tweener, a younger player that's kind of bouncing up and down. He's on his way. He's earmarked for friggin' Lehigh Valley. He was claimed off waivers by the Phillies, by the way. Alex Jackson, the catcher, formerly of the Baltimore Orioles, now on his way to Minnesota, was traded for minor league infielder Peyton Ellis. Nick Aberti of the Boston Red Sox, the right-hand pitcher, is now a Met, signed a minor league deal with the New York Mets. Matt Crook The right-hand pitcher, formerly of Cleveland, is on his way to the Athletics on a minor league deal. Carson Spires staying in Cincinnati on a minor league deal. Joey Piapis staying in Atlanta on a 1-year deal. Yoel Pozo of the St. Louis Cardinals staying in St. Louis on a 1-year deal. Phil Maton, formerly of the Texas Rangers, right-hand pitcher Maton, going to the Cubs on a 2-year deal. Sonny Gray, on his way to the Boston Red Sox, was traded for cash considerations for right-hand pitcher Richard Fitz and a minor leaguer. So Sonny Gray, who we know has been around a while, is now on his way to Boston, to the Red Sox. Jake Fraley staying in Tampa on a 1-year deal. And, of course, the big trade, which has not become official yet. And what I mean by that is it hasn't really cleared the protocols of Major League Baseball yet. But the big trade, Brandon Nimmo on his way to Texas, to the Rangers, and Marcus Semien coming back to the Mets. So there you go. I get you caught up on the hot stove comings and goings. And Pedro Leon is really not, we got Brian De La Cruz and Pedro Leon, two players that are not probably ever going to see a game wearing Phillies uniforms this year. Both of them are going to end up going down to AAA and rounding out that Iron Pig roster. Now, is that a harbinger for potential Crawford and Gabriel Roconis Jr. getting the call to Philadelphia? And they're looking to replace some of that power, some of that, experience in that lineup. Yeah, perhaps. But if you're looking for the move, the big splash move, it hasn't happened yet for the Phillies. And we're a month into free agency, month into the postseason officially. So there's your latest and greatest on the MLB hot stove. And let's take a caller. Joe Hale join me. Joe, what's going on tonight, man?
How are you?
I am doing well, Joe. How are you?
I'm good. I should have clarified that. The Eagles are wearing all black.
With black helmets
and their
too?
record is 5-1 all time.
This is the uniform that's all black with the black helmets, right?
Yes.
5-1, you say? Pretty good.
Yes. I want to talk Phillies.
Okay.
I love what Jim Salisbury retweeted also about Kyle Schwarber. It's going to be, they're going to get him to lower the price for money. But JT Realmuto could be a Red Sox. And if that's the case, doesn't Baltimore have Kelly Rush?
Adley Rashman, yes.
Here's how I would take it. Bye Stott, because the Phillies are close to acquiring Marte as we speak. They're talking, but I think the winter meetings, that's when the Phillies are going to make some moves.
Yeah, Joe, listen, I agree with the assessment of the Schwarber thing. As I said, there's talk, there's smoke, but doesn't seem to be any fire yet. The winter meetings is usually the place where the trades go down. Yes, that's usually the big place where the trades start to fall. I don't really remember the winter meetings being the hotbed for the free agent signings. I mean,
Two Alonso signed last year at winter meetings.
Alonso didn't sign until right before the season began.
Not last year. Yes, he did. Winter meetings.
I bet you $5 bazillion he didn't sign until about late February last year.
Wow. Somebody signed at the winter meetings for the Mets.
Now that might be, maybe that's where they got Soto.
Yes. Yeah, it was Soto.
Okay, that could be. And again, usually the hotbed is the trades. But yeah, I'm not saying that free agent signings can't happen. And with all the people present in one roof, managers, owners, players, and agents, they're all there. That's usually when all these deals do get done. Some of the big ones. But the question, Joe, and I don't, and the Martell thing, with the Diamondbacks, and then the JT thing.
Marte or Martell?
Isn't it Kel Martell? Isn't it how it's said?
I heard it's Marte. Right.
Marte, tomato, tomato. Who gives a damn right now? He's not a Philly yet. I don't care. I don't have to learn his name until he comes here. But with all that being said, though, with all the rumors and speculation and reports and all that, are you concerned that we're a month into the off-season period and we have not done anything significant to improve this baseball team? And yet the Mets have. The Braves have started loading up on some bodies, not necessarily bodies that might really help them, but they're loading up on bodies. Phillies have done nothing. Nothing.
I'm gonna say yes and no. I'm not concerned because in no way, when the Phillies win a World Series, they find everybody late. If you want to go back that far, but the Mets trade.
I just slipped into a black hole. Joe Hale, you disappeared. Where you at, Joe?
StreamYard, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
StreamYard kicked me out, but it's all good. The memo trade is official as a.
Joe, you there?
Are you there?
I'm there, Joe. I can't hear you, but I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay.
That's why all you got to do is be able to hear you, Joe. So let's finish our conversation. Right. Joe, can you hear me?
All right, I'll just leave.
All right, Joe Hale's having massive technical issues. That's okay, though. Joe, work on it. Come back in. You know you're always welcome here. Let's bring in my main man, Ricky Deal. Ricky, how are you tonight?
I am good.
Very good to hear, Ricky. What's on your mind tonight?
I go Sixers.
Ricky Deal saying, let's go Sixers. Ricky, what's going on, man? Paul George is out. Joel Embiid is out. I heard VJ Edgecombe is hurting. Where are the Sixers going, Ricky? Where exactly are they going? I'm going to tell you that they're going to the bottom of the standings, Ricky. That's where they're headed, man. I mean, we got to face reality, Ricky Deal. I love your allegiance. I love your faith to your teams. 100%. I will never ever doubt you for that. It says a lot about your character as a man. But Ricky, we got to start facing some hard facts, especially with the Sixers, buddy. It's over, man. It's time to drop that hand grenade in that locker room and start over, man.
And go Eagles.
Or we can pivot to the Eagles, who can't apparently put together 4 quarters of football to save their lives. Ricky Deal, I love you, man. I'm gonna give you a question, Ricky. Eagles, Bears, Black Friday. Who you got winning the game? Just as Ricky was going to say something, he dropped off. Ricky, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, Bears, Ricky, who you got?
Eagles.
Eagles. All right. I figured you would. Ricky, tomorrow night we're going to do our final show before Thanksgiving. Please come in so I can at least wish you a happy Thanksgiving. All right, brother? We'll talk tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's my main man, Ricky Deal. Everybody with the technical problems tonight. You got Joe Hale not paying his internet bill. No, I don't know what happened. Joe just dropped off. There's somebody who has some internet problems. What happened to you last night? You just were talking and all of a sudden went black there, Pappernick.
Yeah, my internet went off, and then I in my neighborhood for like an hour, everything went off. Electric, internet.
Man, I was like, wondering what the hell, man.
Yeah, so what's this thing I'm reading that the Phillies might be interested in Michael Conforto from the Dodgers?
I have not seen that. I know that they got interest in the guy out there in Arizona, Kel Marte, and then they've been linked to somewhat Adley Rashman. I have not heard the Michael Conforto stuff. That's a mistake. If they are linked, I don't think he would do anything for us.
Well, the
Maybe-
Sporting News has an opening day lineup for the Phillies next year. Schwarber leading off, Turner second, Harper third, Alex Bregman fourth, Brandon Marsh in left field fifth, Austin Hayes in right field, second baseman Stock, catcher Remulto, center fielder Justin Crawford. If that's our lineup,
Oh my
we're
God.
doomed.
Yeah, we're like a 60-win
We're
team.
doomed.
Are you serious? What the hell is Austin Hayes coming back here for?
Well, that's what the Sporting News has, as I guess. I mean, if JT walks, you just put Party Boy and Marshawn in there, catcher. That's going to be our catchers because they're going to go sign somebody. You're going
to have to find. You're going to have to go sign somebody. You can't go into the season with Garrett Stubbs and Rafael Marchand as your catchers. There's no way.
You can't, but they will. They'll go into it because they're going to probably think they got to save money because. They're not going to trade nobody to Baltimore for that catcher in Baltimore. Isn't there a reason why he's not? He was their all-star, but isn't he hurt a lot or something like that? I don't think the Phillies are going to take a chance on him.
Rauschman. He's I don't know. So the entire Baltimore Oriole organization ran into a black hole last year. They all got hurt. Everyone was in and out of the lineup. But prior to last year, he really didn't have injury problems. His offensive development hasn't been as fast, I think, as a lot of people thought it was going to be. He was I think he was like the number one prospect in baseball when he came up about 3 years ago. But what makes Rauschman still attractive is that he's young, under team control for about 3 more years. It would take a king's ransom to pry him away from the Baltimore Orioles. It would be a lot of players.
Well, that's my point. Like, if you're going to give a king's ransom up, I'm only giving it to one team. I'm going right to the Pirates to give him Paul Scheme. That's all I'm doing. I'll give everybody but Crawford for him. Everybody.
You have to ship the entire Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs out to Pittsburgh.
Except Crawford. Yeah, I mean, listen, we still got a third baseman. I mean, that's the only pitcher I would go after. I wouldn't go after Scooble because he's a free agent after this year, I think.
Yep.
So like he definitely ain't going to resign. He's just going to play the market next year. So I ain't trading for him. I mean, he'll probably want it with the Dodgers or somebody for Braves for a half a season because they don't care. Phillies can't do that.
There's something no one's talking about with this free agency, and I want to bring this up to you. We do have an expiring CBA in December of next year. So on 1 December 2026, they'll have no more collective bargaining agreement. And there's a big sticking point with the owners for salary cap, and they're pushing for that. And they're probably not going to come up with a deal. There's probably going to be a lockout. So do you think that's driving a little bit of how this offseason is going to go in terms of signing players? Do you think players are going to be hesitant to sign multiple deals or really try to, lock themselves in? Is this going to affect teams to try to sign free agents with a potential work stoppage coming?
It could, but I mean, it probably has a lot to do with it. But baseball, nobody signs till March anyway. I mean,
but more specifically, do you think it's affecting the Kyle Schwarber negotiations?
That's probably part of it. I mean, because teams are probably like, look, if they're going to if there is some type of you can't whatchamacallit, the word I can't remember. Salary cap. There you go. I mean, you got to watch how you sign these players this year. You know what I mean? Because it's going to affect you in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to not next year. It won't affect you. I don't think. Would it? It would affect you next season.
Yeah, 27. It would affect you. And I'm sure it's got to be there's got to be some sort of grandfather because teams are right now. Some teams are going to be well over the cap as they're currently constructed. There's going to have to be a way to find your way into the cap realm at maybe give them 3 years, or I don't know how they'll navigate that, but it does have long-term ramifications. And for a team like the Phillies that are really walking a thin line here of trying to really take advantage of the fleeting window of opportunity they have left, this could not come at the worst time for them in terms of this labor potential stoppage. And I think it's really going to hinder their ability to make some moves. And the question I have for you as well, Papernick, are you concerned? We're a month into free agency and the offseason, and the Phillies haven't done really anything.
No, because it's like this. It's like this every year. I mean, look, Clentac, it's funny. Clentac didn't finish that deal for Harper. It took Middleton to fly out there and do that.
Yeah,
I mean, so that these guys, they don't want to sign because they want to see if there's other teams out there. And the Phillies are lucky that the Giants didn't sign Harper because they wanted Harper to defer money that year.
Yep.
And he didn't want to defer the money. These guys. That's why these players sit out, because if they sit out longer, somebody's going to sign them with big money, or they'll just take 1 year for like $35 million and take their chances, like Pete Alonso did. I mean, he'll sign a 2-year deal with a 1-year option, a player option to get out of it.
Yeah,
that's all they're going to do. I mean, but the Phillies have been notoriously slow with signing anybody. They never want to set the market. It's not like Howie, you know what I mean? Or he'll go out there and sign a guy, you know what I mean? Whether he's setting the market or not, he ain't going to wait sometimes. Yeah. I mean, the Phillies have always done that. And it's like, I mean, the greatest line I ever heard from a free agent was Andrew McCutchen when they signed him. When he said, "Did you see what they signed me to?" When they asked him about his contract, that was the greatest line ever from anybody being honest. Did you see what they signed me to? I was like, oh, this is. But I don't know. I mean, if I was the Phillies, they had a 5-day window. I mean, they knew they could have signed Schwarber. They should have said, look, here's your 4 years, 5 years, $150 million. Take it. If he ain't going to take that, he ain't coming back.
Schwarber, they messed up the whole Schwarber thing. I don't think they were expecting him to have the year that he had, literally a runner-up MVP type season, winning the All-Star Game MVP. Thank God he didn't win the damn MVP, because if he would have won that, there's no way we're going to re-sign him. But I don't think they rolled the dice a little bit on him. They lost. And Schwarber knew by probably about June or July, I'm milking this for everything I can get. I'm going to hit about 60 home runs this year. Yeah, nah, we're going to run this thing out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's a 5-day window that they get to negotiate with their own team.
Yep.
So the Phillies should have just gauged the interest, said, here's a 5-year deal for $150 million. Take it or leave it. Yep. If you don't take it, then that's when you pivot off to whoever you got to pivot off to next. And
now, the other question. Here's the other question. Are the Phillies, are they potentially going to miss an opportunity in free agency waiting on Kyle Schwarber?
Well, yeah, probably, unless they're waiting for Schwarber to fall first. I don't know. I don't know if Alonso wants to sign or wait to see what Schwarber signs for, or it's vice versa. Because they're the top two. To me, they're the top two for power hitters right now. Yeah. I mean, I don't see like Alex Bregman setting the market.
Tucker.
Tucker's, that's a strange one. I mean, I looked at his stats and over the years, and they're talking $40 million a year. He wants a $400 million contract over 10 years. Is he Juan Soto or Bryce Harper or a Mike Trout, generational talent? I don't get it. I don't get
Bobby
it.
Bonilla contracts. They want the Bobby Bonilla deal, man. They want to get paid well within their retirement. They want a double dip.
That's if he takes the deferred money.
Yeah.
See, if he's smart, I take 10 years. I say, look, all right, 10 years, 300, defer the money till I'm at 90 years old. My family will never be poor. That's all.
The Ohtani deal?
I mean,
the Shohei Ohtani deal?
Well, what, did he defer money?
Oh, yeah. All his money is in the back. He's getting paid like $2 million a year. All his money's in the back end.
See, Harper didn't want to do that with the Giants. San Francisco offered him, I think, they wanted to defer it. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
he wanted his money.
Ohtani's money's on the back end of his contract.
Yeah. They need a salary cap in baseball. I mean, when's the first $1 billion player going to be in about 3 years?
Yeah, it's on its way. It's on its way.
It's the same.
It might be Paul Skeens.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the same with the NBA. I mean, you got guys that are in the league 4 years making $50 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like they got all this money, but I get it. These teams cry they're poor. They're only poor because the team ain't making money. The owner, he's made all his money outside of that already. He don't care. It's just a hobby.
That's all that is. Yeah, I agree with you.
But
I agree.
to get the Phillies, I don't know what the Phillies. They've been like that. Like I was saying to you about 5 minutes ago. They've been like that their whole thing. They never want to set the market. They'll let everything sit out. It's like what was it? Carlos Santana when they signed him, they said they sweated him out so they could put Rhys Hoskins in left field. Well, that was a bright idea. I mean,
I was. Yeah, exactly.
Look, I'm not the smartest guy, but I mean, who moves the first baseman to left field or to the outfield? I mean, that's there's a reason why he's playing first base. He's not that athletic enough to run around out there.
I agree.
Well, they said
I agree, but
now. So Boston, is it Boston with Schwarber? I think it is, or somebody. They were saying that Schwarber, if Boston might use him in the outfield if they get him too, not just DH, because if Boston gets him, because he could play a little bit in the outfield.
I don't know, a real little bit, and they're gonna have him roam around out there trying to play balls off the monster. Come on, man.
Well, that's what I heard. It was either. I don't think it's the Cubs. I think it was Boston. I don't know if it's going to be left field or right field with that, but I don't know how many games, 20 games, 30 games. But I heard if he signed that the teams are looking at that. Now, the Phillies do have, here's the problem with the Martel or Marte, whatever you want to call him, thing. The Blue Jays are involved in that.
Yeah.
Do the Phillies have the players to trade that the Blue Jays, because I'm assuming Toronto's got a pretty good minor league system.
They do. Listen, it's I mean, I will see. I don't know if Marte, I don't know. He doesn't really float my boat right now. I mean, to me, he's like a move that you would do. We really got to figure out what we're doing with the goddamn who's protecting Harper. That's the first thing that we got to really work out. And that to me is either Schwarber or, of course, Alonso or Tucker or Bregman. We got to figure that out first, man.
The problem with Bregman is I heard a contract was like, I think I told you before, I heard like 160 million or 140 million or something, 4 years.
Yeah, I know. You Phillies can't afford that. There's no way.
You can't. That's why. Like, if you got to suck it up for one more year, if you can't trade Baum, I mean, you got let Aiden Miller just get ready down there. More time playing third base than he's up. Maybe they can get rid of Baum in July. To trade him when they can trade him.
Yep.
It's just, I don't know. I mean, this team's look. There's a lot of holes in this team. It starts with the manager. It starts with no bench coach, and then you got no ace. You got no ace on the staff. I mean, you got Christopher Sanchez. I'm talking about the ace. You don't have an outfield. You got an outfielder who don't want to be here in Castellanos. We can't get rid of him.
No starting catcher.
Yeah, I mean, so this is
That's what I mean. I need they got to start making some goddamn moves here, Papernick.
I'm going to say this right now, Matty. They might be battling for third or fourth place next year with the Marlins and the Nationals.
So you think it's wild card or bust for the Phillies next year?
I think. Well, baseball I don't think it really matters how you get in anymore. It ain't like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? I think so. I mean, if they can get in the wild card, but I don't know. I mean, the only thing they got going for them is the Mets pitching staff. They can't stay healthy.
Nope. So
that's the only thing they got that maybe that works out for the Phillies. Where they can get second place because the Mets can't keep them guys healthy for some reason. But
I agree.
It's the Braves. I mean, you're gonna have the Braves. The Dodgers will be back. I mean, so.
Yeah, the Braves are not going to be the Braves are going to have a bounce back season. They'll be back in the thick of things next year. I agree.
Yeah, and then you got the Dodgers back. I mean, you're going to have you still got the Cubs are going to be better. The Phillies, the Phillies ain't winning that. I'll say it right now, they're not winning that division next year. The only way to win that division, it's got to be a total collapse of injuries with the Braves again, and the Mets have just got to just really think. And I hate the Mets, and so. I mean, I don't want to see them, but I mean, I just see the Phillies coming in third place next year if they don't figure out what they're doing right now. I mean,
and that's if the Marlins
little pieces.
And that's just it. Is it? But though, is it little pieces though? Because my big selling point for the Phillies this year in this offseason, and sorry to show off with this, was that as time continues to pass and we're not making moves, I got it. It's only been a month, but to me, it signals that they're not all in on changing the DNA of this team, that they are indeed going to run it back. And I think that's a mistake in itself, honestly.
The only thing I could think of is Rincon's going to be your right fielder next year, and you're going to have
I don't think he's not.
Crawford left and Martian left. Why not? Why Martian center?
I would love it, but I don't think they're going to commit to having about 3 rookies in their starting lineup next year. I don't think they would.
Well,
I would love for them to do that, but I don't think they'll do it.
They might have to just for a financial reason. If they're going to sign somebody, if they're going to sign, say they sign Schwarber to a huge contract, say they get Schwarber and Alonso, luck out, but that would make no sense anyway. Because where do you put Harper? I mean, he's got to go back to the outfield. Yeah. But you see where I'm going. Like you never know. I mean, but I mean little moves. Like they're not even trying to go out and get an outfielder. Just somebody that that can maybe give you maybe 15 to 20 home runs. They're not even doing that.
I agree. It's frustrating.
Well, I'm gonna let you go, Matty, and I'll be on tomorrow night.
Awesome. We'll be back tomorrow night. Then we'll go into the holiday. So make sure you tune in there, Michael Peppernick.
Oh, and I do have the Eagles winning on Friday, even though it's
really?
Well, I mean, like I said, I think I told you that last night was because they're at home, and I don't see it being I don't see it them getting no. I don't know. I just think it's one of the games
tomorrow. I'll give my pick tomorrow on the Bears Blast, and we'll definitely we'll talk the Eagles Bears tomorrow night on this show. So, but you might be right.
All right. You have a good night. All right.
To Michael Peppernick. Michael Peppernick joining me. This time his internet held out. All right. Why does Jetlachenko keep getting traded? I don't talk to the Guelph Storm. I don't know why. Don't forget his NHL rights still belong to the Flyers. I don't know what the bigger question, Joe, is why is Jetlachenko still in the CHL? That's the bigger question. I don't really care who he plays for up there. I don't want him up there. I think that's a waste of time, honestly. I think it's of course it's a contract move. They're trying to save another year of that deal. They don't want his ELC to start yet. That's the bigger question for me, is why he's still in the CHL. I could give a damn list who he's playing for up there. But, yeah, he did get moved from the Guelph Storm to Bradenton. Guelph's terrible. They're a terrible team. So maybe this is more of a challenge for him. Bradenton's, they're okay. But, again, I don't know why he's playing in the CHL. But your guess is as good as mine. All right, let's transition a little bit to hockey. Let's do our other night segment. Yes, indeed. The other night segment is back. We took a night off last night, but we're back in full swing tonight, talking Flyer prospects exclusively right now this time of the year. But in January, when the calendar flips, I got to go out and buy a new calendar this weekend. It's Black Friday, man. It's Christmas time. Are you kidding me? It's Christmas time. I'm going to be on a baseball field working baseball games in about a month and a half. I can't wait. But, where is the time going? Where's time going? But anyway, I digress. Let me pull back into reality again. We're talking Flyers exclusively, Flyer prospects exclusively. But in January, as I said, before I got distracted by my own mortality, we will start talking NHL draft prospects. That'll start in January. So we'll be breaking down NHL prospects or Flyer prospects and NHL draft prospects starting in January. And then in February or late January, we'll start breaking down Phillies spotlight players. We'll start talking Phillies baseball. We'll talk about the players who are going to make up your 2026 Philadelphia Phillies. And then sometime in March, we'll start turning our attention to the MLB draft prospects. And we'll come full circle in April when we'll start breaking down Phillies prospects. So In April, we'll be breaking them all down. Now, I would imagine by April, I should be pretty much done with the Flyer prospects, and we'll just be doing. But it's going to get hot and heavy with these little of the night segments. We'll be doing multiples like in a segment. Sometimes I think in the height of it, we're doing like 3 segments in a segment. So, but tonight we're still enjoying the peace and tranquility that is just one segment within one segment, and that's the Flyer prospect. And tonight, a player that burst onto the scene for the Orange and Black late last spring. The Flyers plucked him out of Michigan State. The undrafted free agent Carson Dorwart. He's a center, a 6'1", 194-pound undrafted free agent who the Flyers signed at the end of last college hockey season. Had a cup of coffee with the Flyers at the end of the season. He's currently in Lehigh Valley with the Phantoms now. But Dorwart never stops moving. One play blends into the other. He protects and wins pucks on the ice, plays the game at a high pace, and he has some stick handling skills, continues to show advanced passing abilities, lobbing pucks above sticks. So he's one of those diamonds in the rough that Danny B is really kind of hoping to work out for him for depth. I don't necessarily know what his ceiling is with the Flyers, but he can never have enough centers, especially of the 6-foot variety. And he fits that bill. Currently in Lehigh, he's played 18 games, got 4 goals, 4 assists for 8 points, and an A+1 for the undrafted free agent Carson Dorwart and your Flyer prospect of the night. There you go. That was a quick, fast, easy one. Again, not much sexiness about an undrafted free agent. I'm sorry to Mr. and Mrs. Dorwart. No offense to their son. It's just not really that much sexy going on there with Carson. But he was a nice little pickup. I thought, the Flyers very rarely that I've noticed go into college ranks at the end of the season and sign players. And they did that last year with Danny Briere. So, nice to see him. And again, he played a couple games here at the end of last season. So firmly in place now with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms where he belongs. And there you go. Your prospect of the night. And that segment was brought to you by, yes, the Fighting's Final, the quintessential Phillies post-game show. Man, it is the best. We have so much fun doing the Fighting's Final during the baseball season. We cover all games, 162 plus playoffs. I think last year's in total ended up being 162, and would they get eliminated in 4? So 166 games we did last year between me and the rest of the Fighting's Final crew. And on Thanksgiving afternoon, just as your Thanksgiving Day afternoon, just as you're getting settled in for your long day of football, family, and food, maybe not that order, but in somewhat that order, we will bring you the 2025 Fighting's Final season in review show, 12 noon, precisely at noon. It'll air. It'll go on live. Again, I don't want to say live. It's pre-recorded, but it will stream at noon on Thursday. So make sure you're there. And not only do we break down 2025, but we also take a really good hard look, about an hour of a hard look at 2026 and what the Phillies could be. You might see some familiar stuff talked about on that show that we've talked about here, with me especially. Me and Big Al are going to be your pilot and co-pilot for that program. So make sure you tune in and have some fun on Thanksgiving Day. So good stuff. All right. Let's get it to the end. Let's talk a little sports in general. There's a couple stories around the world, around sports today. Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers are the headline of the list of the class of 2026 modern era semifinals. They made it to the semifinal vote of the Hall of Fame for 2026. So Brees and Phillip Rivers. If one goes, it should be Brees. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's good to see Drew Brees get some love there. Shohei Ohtani has confirmed that he will return to Team Japan for the WBC in 2026. Ohtani was the one who launched the Japanese team into WBC gold in 2022 by striking out Mike Trout to end USA's bid for it. That was a great game, great series, great tournament. And Shohei Ohtani will headline Team Japan in 2026. I don't know if there was ever a question that he wasn't going to go back and play for Japan, but it's official. He will return for the Japanese team. And Chauncey Billups, the embattled former Trailblazers head coach, who's been charged with all kinds of gambling issues in the NBA, officially pleaded not guilty to those charges today, as as that thing is interesting. So I don't know if anybody's keeping an eye on Chauncey Billups, but he officially pled not guilty today to those charges that he's faced. Whatever. All right, so let's get into our final segment of the program, my favorite segment of the night. Yep. It's MattyB's card review back again tonight. We missed it last night. We missed the of the night segment as well, but we're back tonight, and we're hopping in our Wayback Machines. We're going all the way back to the Wax Pack era, and we're going back into the beginning of the end of the Wax Pack era, 1981 and Topps. Put some context in the 81 Topps card collection. Of course, the Phillies were a major highlight in the 81 series. They had a lot of special World Series insert cards because they were, of course, the world champions. So very cool Tug McGraw card from the World Series from that set that I have. Very cool card. This is not a Phillies baseball card, though. This is a card of a player who would become a Philly very soon after this season of 81. It's actually weird seeing him in this uniform before joining the Phillies and becoming a pivotal part and trying to hold on to that championship glory. And he was a big time member of the 83 Phillies that tried to, the Weeze kids tried one last gasp of World Series glory before it all came crumbling down. And he ended up going up, having a pretty decent career with the Phillies, and then becoming a Phillies broadcaster for a little bit. And I, of course, speak of the Sarge, Gary Matthews. And this is his 81 Topps Braves baseball card. Card number, what is that? Card number 528 in the set. Pretty interesting baseball card here. Of course, this is Gary Matthews. Anytime I run into former Phillies or, whatever, in different teams' uniforms, it intrigues me as much as a Phillies player card would. It's weird seeing Gary Matthews in these powder blues of the yesteryear of the Atlanta Braves. Matthews, as I said, came to Philadelphia and was a pivotal member of the 83 NLCS or National League Championship Philly team. Had a pretty nice young short career here in Philadelphia, but was definitely one of the better moves that they made to try to hold it all together. And anybody with the nickname the Sarge is okay by me. And he earned that by his style of play, his very loud, very disciplined, very intense way he went about himself on the field. And this is a pretty cool card. There's nothing bells and whistly about this card. It's a base card. It's a wax back era card, but it's very uncharacteristically expensive. This card is somewhat valuable as a PSA 9. Currently, this card goes for and has a seller's value and seller's market for about $30 as a graded PSA 9. As a PSA 0 raw card, not graded, if you have an excellent to mint condition card, you're looking at about $3, the max value here on this baseball card. I currently don't have a mint version of this card. I got I'd say a good to very good copy of this baseball card, but it's not about the money. It's about the nostalgic value of seeing an old, great yesteryear player of the Phillies rocking them Atlanta Brave powder blues. They should go back to these uniforms. They should go back to the color scheme of the blue and the white that signified so many years of just bad baseball in Atlanta. They should go back to those early 80s uniforms. But this is Gary Matthews 81 Topps. Of course, all this stuff is taken from the 80s season. All right. So I don't think Matthews was part of the Braves in 82. I got to look. I'd have to look that up, but I don't know if he was part of the Braves in 82 when they went to the NLCS, but there you have the Braves, Gary Matthews Topps 1981 base card. Here's my copy. Now you probably can't see it, but there's a little, I don't know if it's some kid, because I don't know how I came about this baseball card. I don't remember it ever being in my collection as a kid. And funny enough, I would remember that. Honestly would. If I had this card, if I pulled this card as a kid, even at how old was I in 81? 8 years old, I would have remembered this, but I don't remember it. And it's got a little bit of it looks like to me either some printer error when they came off the sheet, kind of a smudge of ink on the bottom part where the brim of the cap is. You probably can't see it on this angle. Maybe you can. Down there where my finger is, there's some ink down there. And one of the corners is a little bent on the right lower side. I don't know if that's printer ink or somebody wrote on it. I don't know either one. But this card I could probably move for about $1 if anybody was really interested in it. Other than that, the card's in pretty good shape. The other corners are sharp, but there is some problems with the corner down there on the lower right-hand side. And as I said, this big old smudge of ink down by the brim of the cap definitely takes it out of the running for a $30 card. But I could probably move it for $2, $1. Somebody who really is a Gary Matthews aficionado. There you have it. Gary Matthews 81 Topps Atlanta Braves card is our card of the night. And that's going to take us to the end. Thank you, Michael Papernick. As usual, continue to keep up the fight. Be back tomorrow. Joe Hale, as always. I don't know what's going on with your internet, Joe. You lost it tonight. But make sure you're back tomorrow night. And that goes for everybody else. Make sure you're back on here and on the network tomorrow. Big night tomorrow as we try to get everything pre-holiday in. The Birds Blast will air at some point tomorrow afternoon, early evening. Final word tomorrow night. And then we got Flyers post game on later tomorrow night. And then we got a lot going on this weekend. So make sure you tune in, you tell a friend, you like, share, subscribe, all those great things that you would do for a network that's struggling to find a name for itself. But we're making progress, man. We're starting to get noticed. I know we are, because I'm getting an awful lot of hate mail lately. It's starting to amp up, which I love. Keep it coming. And let's keep the discussion coming, because that's what it's all about, man. It's all about a fistful of dollars and some fun. I just need the money now. But you guys have a great night. For some of you, tomorrow's the last day of work for the week. Some of you, tomorrow's last day of school for you for the week. For those, I think for everybody, it's the last day of work and school till Friday at least. And some of you, again, are off till Monday. So I hope you enjoy your final day of working and toiling before the holiday on Thursday. So make sure you're back tomorrow night before you go out on your Thanksgiving Eve plans. And remember, Thanksgiving Eve, per capita, the busiest drinking night of the year. So please take note to that. Make all the necessary precautions and be safe on Thanksgiving Eve. But make sure you're here at 9 o'clock with me, so I'll get you ready for your night of festivities here on The Final Word. Until we talk again, that's enough for me. I'll see you guys later.